someone in the chat today, someone in the comments today asked me, so why don't you talk about all those people who were threatened after Charlie Kirk's passing? Not everybody got on TV and said, "Oh, what a lovely guy, and we're gonna miss him, and he was great, and he was this and that, and he was all that in a bag of chips." Some people said things like, "You've heard, you get what you sow what you reap what you sow. You live by the sword, you die by the sword." Some people said that while he was incredibly influential and while he reached out to an entire generation of people in a way that nobody really has, but nobody was taking away those accomplishments from him. Nobody was taking away his drive, but they said, but he did so with divisive language, and he did so with fear, and he did so with this and that and the other. And there have been people who wrote articles fired, people who were commentators on television fired. There's an entire group of people who are being posted up on the webs, on the internets, because they said something mean. They made a joke. They said something hateful. They said something where they were boasting or that they were happy that this happened, and all those people are being doxxed because of it. There's a Canadian content creator who spoke about his passing, and she's at the top of the list. Now, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay to say something nasty when somebody dies. I'm not saying it's okay to make a joke about somebody when they die. You know me. I hope you know me well enough that I don't believe in that kind of thing. To the best of my ability, I try to not be that person. To the best of my ability, I try not to be hateful. I try not to be mean. I try not to be gross. You also probably know that there are just some kinds of ministers that they take me to that other place. Anyhow, I don't say that I agree with those people, and I don't say that we should say things like that. And I also, though, don't say that we shouldn't. I really do believe in free speech, even though free speech can really suck at times. It's a problem. Free speech can be a problem, but I agree with it wholeheartedly. I really do. Unless the exercise of your free speech is causing someone else harm, I believe in free speech. And someone today told me, it used to be that we would teach our kids sticks and stones. Words can really, really cause harm. There's no arguing that anymore. In a social media world like we have, where everybody is wired into everybody else, words can cause real physical, mental, emotional harm. They can have repercussions that I never would have dreamed, being called a name when I was a kid. Like, they can have some really dire consequences. But free speech it's just so essential. It's another one of those things. We talked about technology earlier. Free speech is something that we have to learn how to use properly. And again, maybe with social media, we just haven't really figured out what that free speech looks like. All that to be said. These kind of tactics are absolutely, they're a blatant attempt to silence people. They are a blatant attempt to silence a political understanding. They're an attempt to crush the will of people to stand up and to say something, to be heard. They are, in all fairness, Charlie Kirk is being heralded as a champion of free speech. And yet, those who would defend him from people who say something mean about him are trampling on that thing they claim he was a champion of. These kinds of these acts are they fly in the face of what they believe he was all about. And I will say this, I have done many videos about some of the things that Charlie Kirk has said. I didn't like what he said. I did not like what he stood for, but he had a right to say it. He never should have lost his life over it. I found that somebody sent me this comment. A sad day in America when someone was killed for his beliefs and for exercising his rights. His rights, the world needs much prayer. I agree. I don't have to like what he said, but he never should have lost his life for it. He never, and I don't even know if he did. Again, coming back to what we said earlier, we still don't really know what was going on. We don't know the motivation here. While it is a right that we should never be prosecuted by the government, persecuted by the government, we should never be silenced by the government. It doesn't mean that there aren't real world consequences for saying what you need to say. I can't promise you that it won't happen. I can almost assuredly promise you that it will. That somebody somewhere will hate what you say and they will try to drag you through the mud, that depending on who you are, that you may find yourself on a list. These are the times we're in. When times get dark, good people allow themselves to be seen. Good people allow themselves to be heard. Good people allow themselves to be a beacon of light, even though so many around them want to snuff them out. God, this is where we are. This is where we are. Don't say that, it's mean. You're canceled. Don't say that, it's mean. I'll have you fired. Don't say that, it's mean. I'll make sure you lose your apartment. Don't say that, it's mean. I'll make sure the world knows your name. I'll make sure the world reviles you. Don't say that, it's mean, or we'll get even. This is where we are. And because this is where we are, we need good people more than ever. We need strong people more than ever. We need loving people more than ever. It wasn't fair that those people lost their jobs. It wasn't fair that they were, teachers and university officials, university professors lost their jobs because they said something that someone thought they shouldn't about this person who made a name for himself saying things that many people didn't think he should. It's not fair. It's not fair that it happened to them, and it shouldn't have happened to them. And we should be praying for them. We should be praying for them that they keep speaking, that they are willing to keep standing up, that what has happened to them does not suppress them, that what has happened to them does not put them down, does not keep them down. And we should pray for strength for ourselves, that we might join them and allow our voices to be heard with the choir. This is where we are. Amen.